Good morning, everyone. Can you hear all right in the back? Okay, good. We're happy you're here with us to practice today. It's a wonderful and rare opportunity. Special welcome to those who are here for the first time or new. Consider yourselves new. Welcome. We hope you find something quite useful in this practice today and that you feel free and comfortable to come back. So my name is Zopa, and this is Bill and Dora, and we're associate teachers here at KCC. So we'll follow our usual Sunday schedule here, which is kind of a framework with, I would say, in a sense, getting ourselves into the Buddhist worldview. Might be one way to talk about it. And then we'll do calm abiding together with a little bit of guidance. Before that, we'll take refuge and arouse our bodhicitta mind, the awakened mind, the mind that wishes the end of suffering for not only ourselves, but all beings. And after we sit shamatha, calm abiding together, then we'll have a nice tea break in this balmy weather. Oh my gosh, we had heat yesterday. I don't know where it went. We had kind of heat yesterday, but it's not here today. So we'll have hot tea, and people can meet one another. If you're new, please feel free to come up and introduce yourselves to us, or we might go find you and introduce ourselves to you. And after tea break, please feel free to stay, and we urge you to stay for our Q&A time, our question and answer, our Dharma discussion time, which is about the last 45 minutes of our session, and we end at 11 a.m. I feel I need to acknowledge that, and want to acknowledge that the past 2 days we had quite a beautiful retreat here on Tonglen compassion practice, and quite a number of you were here, and it becomes so clear in that practice the interconnectedness of us all, how well the people who came, and many of you are here again, kept the silence, endured these rather cool conditions for 2 days, and then carried the practice at home overnight on Friday, because we can't, for the moment, provide a overnight retreat space. Our retreat space is full of people on 3-year retreat who are going to come out of there in about 6 to 7 months. Wow. Amazing. That will be quite good for all of us. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I think some learning happened. I know for me it did. Also, I have asthma. When I get tired, it kicks up, so don't worry. I'm not dying of pneumonia up here or passing around a virus, I hope. So let's just get here in our bodies. in this space, away from everything we've been doing right up to this moment. Simply let it go. At any moment in our lives, the teachings say we can drop into this open, unobstructed awareness, which is our true nature. Endless possibilities, nothing in the way. And touch on our pure awakened heart, mind. For most of us, including myself, it's quite hard to stay in that space without thinking. Thinking happens very quickly. Conceptual thoughts, dialogue inside the mind, that's okay, just noticing it. And even though this is our true nature, this open, clear, fully compassionate, without any effort, way of being. If we look at our current circumstances, I don't know about you, but I don't live in that all the time, 24/7. I seem to still have quite a bit of what's called loyalty to my persistent patterns of suffering. I wish I didn't. I'd rather have loyalty to bodhicitta. So that's why we're here, and we support one another to get in touch with that, which is in our deepest heart. But it's quite good because we can gloss over the suffering. What is it? It was the Buddha's first teaching to his 5 first disciples. The first of the truth of the noble ones, or noble truths. Suffering is. You probably have a sense of that. But often we shy away from it. We distract ourselves. We don't like to look at it. But if we never get it, if we never understand, suffering is to be known, to be deeply known. Why? Because then we will want to end it. We will also become more facile at ending it, more effective. So I want to talk this morning just for a little bit before we do our refuge in bodhicitta about what are called the six sufferings of the human state. This is a teaching out of the gradual path to awakening in the Gelug lineage. So as we contemplate these, just check in with your own life and see if these are true for you. Buddha said, don't accept anything. I've always liked that. Don't accept anything some teacher says, some book says. Check it out in your very own life. So the first suffering is that if we really look honestly, everything in our lives is uncertain. It could be that you set out to get here this morning and you might not have gotten here. It can be we wake up and we're sick. We don't plan these things. Uncertain. The truth is we don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. Each of us have some kind of plan Like the next moment, I'm going to do this, I'm going to think about that, I'm going here. But you know from your own life, if you check how many times our plans are made and not accomplished, or accomplished, but in a way that surprises us. This uncertainty is always there for the reason that our so-called self, our big I, letter I, is not really in charge. So the second suffering is that even when we get all our ducks in a row, even when things seem quite good, sailing right along, there's almost always, if we look deeply and we're honest, still a little dissatisfaction. First of all, it comes from, wow, this is so good, I hope it never ends. And right there, it's a little bit besmirched. Because it will end, that's the nature of things. Or we have something very pleasant happen, like I remember a vacation with my husband, and then we tried to repeat that very vacation because we loved it so much. We went to all those places in the wilderness. And of course, darn, they weren't like that first time. So the dissatisfaction that's right in the middle of the most satisfactory moments. Now, I'm not saying all this to bum us out, but we have to get a correct diagnosis before we go for our medicine, or we won't really take it. So we've got this uncertainty, we've got this dissatisfaction. Then, from a Buddhist point of view, we're born over and over and over and over and over again, right up to this moment. You don't have to adopt that view, but it's important to know it is the Buddhist view. We're born over and over and over. We go through lifetime after lifetime of this uncertainty, this dissatisfaction. And in these births, during the lives, we go up and down. That's the fourth one. Up and down. I got the job. Oh my God, I hate the job. Oh my God, I love the job. Oh my God, I lost the job. Oh my God, the company closed down. I got the perfect relationship. Oh, it's not perfect. Well, it was perfect the first 6 months, and now it's not perfect. So I don't need to give more examples. You can get it. Money gained, lost, etc. We go up and down without control. Then we die over and over and over again. It's the result of taking the birth. Automatically, person begins dying as soon as they're born. Everyone's dying. Everyone's also living in this moment. It's an interesting contradiction, but we're also dying. We're all headed that way. And most of us are terrified to think about that or look at it. And if not terrified, at least uncomfortable. Because I don't know about you, I can't remember the last time I died. So I have a kind of funny feeling like, I don't know what that'll be like. Uncertain, unsatisfactory, born over and over, life goes up and down without control, dying over and over. And the last one is that we do this alone. Sure, we have loved ones and we have friends. We have the Dharma, we have our teachers, we have our own kind company within our own kind heart towards ourselves. But the reality is that when we die, it doesn't matter who's around us. We're going through the process alone, solely. No one else can get in there and either stop it, or they can be of great help, but you get the point. It's just like when you're sick, your very best doctor can't get in there and bear the sickness for you. Your very best friend can love you. Your partner, your spouse can help you, but they can't be in there with you. So in a certain way, because we are suffering from this view of a separate self, we suffer through all this alone. Wow, this is a scary picture. About halfway through, I thought maybe I shouldn't say 6, maybe just 3. It's too much. So, this is why we need refuge. This is it. We're in a giant ocean of these things occurring. Even if only one of them made sense to you, or you could see it in your life, you can see the need to rely on something, to find something that can guide one through all this difficulty. And pretty much what I've found in 70 years of this life, I can't find anything that's on the earth that's a reliable refuge. So I'll just use an example. Even your very best friend. I have a number of best friends. I've lived around here for almost 40 years. And I had a big fight with one of my best friends recently. That was kind of shocking. And so even your very best friend who's known you 30-some years, not reliable, not a completely reliable refuge, right? Went there to stay for 2 days to relax and have fun on the houseboat, and it was not fun. We're doing fine, but the waves, come. So this is why we go for refuge, to that which, as we work with it, is reliable. We see that. You can always turn to your own Buddha nature. You can always do that. And as you come to recognize it, experience it, realize it more deeply, that reliance feeds on itself in a way and becomes ever more available. And when you turn to it, it doesn't turn into something else like a bad movie or a angry friend. It just doesn't turn into something else. So we take refuge in the life of Shakyamuni Buddha as a model. We take refuge in our own Buddha nature, which we cannot get rid of, thank goodness, no matter how hard we would try. We take refuge in the ultimate, the open awareness, our deepest nature, that which is beyond all the concepts. We take refuge in the Dharma, all the teachings, the path, the practices, which is also a part of our own heart. And we take refuge in the Sangha. The Sangha at this level right here, those sitting around you who came here today because they want to do what you want to do. So wonderful to have people that want to do what you want to do instead of all the distractions we can engage in. And we take refuge in what's called the Arya Sangha, the highest Sangha, those who've already understood and realized their Buddha nature. And we sometimes meet with them, and we're so inspired. Even we don't meet with them, we can know they're there. Human beings who have reached that state, as Shakyamuni did, as many of our teachers have. So let's do our prayer, and then we will sit quietly with many small breaks to wiggle around, and I'll explain why we will do short sessions this morning, many short sessions.
Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
So we'll engage in this calm abiding this morning in short sessions. I will mark those by doing this. And when that sound comes, if you're sailing along fine and not lost in distractions, you can just keep going. But if you're like me with quite a busy mind, you'll probably find yourself when that sound comes either very, very busy in mind or possibly totally spaced out, neither of which are so helpful use of time. They just occur, not to be judged, but just to be noticed. So they say in the teachings, especially in this tradition of Mahamudra, Great Seal, is short sessions. Because you want to end a session with a very happy mind to come back to it. Not like, oh God, that was terrible. That was too hard. Or I was asleep the whole time. So during the short sessions, because we know that there will be a break, then it's a good thing to intensely yet relaxedly, yes, those seem contradictory, but yet intensely and in a relaxed manner, watch the mind. To end this suffering, we have to know it. And where does it rise? In the mind. So we need to get into, we're always in it, but turn our attention to our mind. Get familiar with, how does my mind engage? How does it perceive? How does it experience what's going on? So that's what we're doing in our calm abiding, without those questions, simply watching. So have a nice, relaxed posture. The back straight, but not stiff, not rigid. Hands can be in your lap or on your thighs, gently. Eyes can be open, closed, doesn't matter. You can experiment. You may already know what works for you. You're not really looking at anything, however, not analyzing anything. Then we come to the breath, which is quite available. If you already have a practice and you have another object that works for you, that's fine. But the breath is one of the classic ones. You can feel the breath going in and out the nostrils, or the belly rising and falling. So for the next 3-4 minutes, intensely and relaxedly focus on the object you've chosen. Whenever you notice a distraction, that's good, you've noticed. Then come back to the object. See where your mind is. No judgment. Relax the effort. You can look around, have a little stretch. Focus again. Relax. We're not even trying to meditate. Just being here now. Relax the effort. Check where your mind is. If the mind's very busy, one instruction is to relax the body more. Check where you're holding your muscles or tension and let that go. Come back to focus. where the mind is. Without judgment, relax the effort. this virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state. Thank you for practicing with us. So we usually have a few announcements. Maybe Bill or Dora can remember what they are at this point. It's always a moving target, what comes next.
What comes next, as far as I know, in terms of the big things in life, are the Bodhisattva celebration.
Yeah, that's right.
Which will be, it's already next weekend, isn't it? Yep. Wow.
Mary right there is.
Yes. Mary is the organizer par excellence of this, and we will be doing some decorations and things, and she can say a few things to introduce.
Yeah, so it used to be something that up until this year was in the evening, but we've decided to move it earlier in the day so it accommodates young children, like children and older people, and anybody who'd rather come that time of day. So it'll be 2 to 4:30. It's really a lot of fun. It's appropriate for families and non-Dharma practitioners. The idea is that we get together and share stories, songs, dance, poetry, art, whatever you want that represents bodhisattvas, whether they are Buddhist bodhisattvas or other people you've just met on the street. I would encourage people to think about reading, telling a story, or doing something for it. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You know, it can be people read a story, think of something from memory, do something spontaneously. It's always a surprise. So it's not like we've kind of created a show and we're going to present it. It's like, you are the show. So it's a lot of fun, though, and it's always surprises for me, too. And also, we will be doing some decorating this week. I think it will be Thursday and Saturday morning at this point because of other things that are happening here this week. If you're interested in helping in those ways, you can talk to me today. There's some things, my email address is on the little notices that are set about here. And but anyway, please come, bring a goodie. And it's a nice way to just kind of be with each other in a less formal way than in kind of a celebratory way, especially we're in this new beautiful space. And it's just a way to enjoy it this way. Hopefully, who knows, maybe we'll actually have heat. I don't know. So this is a good way for us all to just suspend all of our expectations, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's okay. Enough of me.
Though you wouldn't know it, we actually do have some heat. The system is just getting started up, and they're tinkering away with things as they bring it up to speed. So this is on the line of, well, you want something to cry about, it could be much colder than it is right now. but so I'm glad for every incremental step towards that. I'll also mention the New Year's retreat. December 31st, January 1st, an opportunity to sit in calm abiding and celebrate that turning of the year with practice. And at 4 o'clock on New Year's Day, Mike will offer the refuge vows, and this is a great opportunity for all of us who've taken refuge to come together to refresh our vows for the year and also one of the few opportunities in the year where we can count on Michael offering the refuge vows. So if people are interested in taking refuge, please talk to us. We can talk more about that.
Salidra.
And there are a few more.
Salidra.
Yeah, Salidra and Phil.
I just want to give you an update on Over the Top. We are at a plateau, halfway toward the challenge. I think the number is $24,421 toward the $50,000 match, and it kind of feels like a crouching tiger here, poised for a powerful leap over the top, I hope, and not just snoozing. So anyone who wants to be part of that tiger, one of the legs of the tiger, please be in touch with me, and we'll decide which leg you would like to be. Diane, yes?
Oh,
Yeah.
in terms of the bookstore, we have a lot of new books. This is our big book buy for the year, just came in this week. Have a lot of really nice books, especially little gift books. Our calendars this year are, for the most part, 100% profit for the center, so please buy one if you can. And finally, we're starting free gift baskets. If you buy the stuff that goes in it, we'll give you the gift basket with the bow and the filler today.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And Salidra.
It's so great to be here. We are blessed today to have 5 new people, at least that I know of. There might be more that I don't know. So when I say your name, would you just raise your hand so we can see you? Alexa?
Hi.
Lotus?
Howdy.
Ping?
Hello.
Welcome. Kurt?
Hi, Kurt.
And Addie?
Addie.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here that is here for the first time?
And my buddy
Oh,
Gary's here
up
for a
here.
second time.
Up here, Salidra.
And your name?
Bruce.
Bruce. Welcome,
Welcome.
Bruce.
We needed a Bruce.
Yeah, we don't have a Bruce right now.
We're full up on Linda's right at the moment.
We have a lot of Lindas.
And fortunately, all the Lindas are miracle workers. So
Yes, this is true. Oh my gosh.
One of the miracles is that Linda Grove, who wasn't here this morning, would have turned on that heater before we came. So now we really miss her. But we'll turn that on at the break, and that'll help take some chill off. There's a blanket here. I think there's a couple back by Bonnie. So please don't leave just because it's cold. There's a couple of measures that you can take. Otherwise, just be. That's right. And we'll just enjoy it so much when we can complain about it's too hot.
Okay, folks, it's tea time. There's hot tea back there. And come back when Rosemary rings the bell. It'll be 10 or 15 minutes. Enjoy. Was it on?